Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of me getting to catch up with one of our fantastic sailors involved with the Olympics. Tonight, we are talking with Victor Kovalenko, the medal maker. 11 Olympic medals. He has coached 7 of them gold, 20 World Championship wins. He is an incredible coach. He's also a fantastic friend to many. We have Victor Kovalenko with us. How are you in hotel quarantine?
Excellent. Busy. I was not expecting to be such busy. A lot of people recommend for me to take video games and to take books, but I'm making plan for the day, like to talk to some people, to manage a lot of things, to analyze a lot of things, and I never reach the level 75%, always behind. Maybe my plank is too high, but it's so busy. Every night I get to the bed, I'm saying, wow, I was so busy all day doing a lot of things.
I know, it's like that, isn't it? I think everyone's asked me, are you bored? Do you need this? Do you need that? I'm like,
No.
I've got lots to do.
No, not bored. And a lot of people said also, oh, you will have a very good rest in quarantine. No, I'm in bed like 10 o'clock. I wake up 5:45, and since then I'm busy.
You are an inspiration. Even smashing goals in quarantine. But speaking of, let's have a little bit of a talk about the magnificence of the Australian sailing team, in particular the athletes that you coach. I'm going to bring up this image now of Matt and Will winning gold in Tokyo. Absolutely beautiful scenes. I don't know how proud you could have been of them in that moment. I'm sure you already were, but can you tell us a little bit about that moment when they actually crossed the line and secured Matt's second gold, but Will's first gold medal after a silver for them both in Rio?
I'm sure first, but not last. Most of them, they are really outstanding sailors. They are many times world champions in 470s, and they were very successful in other classes. They were first and second at the worlds in nutshell, and William is very successful in big boats, monohulls, catamarans, like incredible sailors. And I'm very surprised that Australian sailing pay me the salary. I have to pay back to Yacht in Australia for watching them every day and for enjoying their sailing every day. Unfortunately, at Olympic Games, I was not in the first row to enjoy their sailing, because people who were watching them on TV, they have seen maybe like 50 times more than me watching them from motorboat. But I was privileged to talk to them before racing, to see their focus, their determination, their really strong focus on winning, and to talk to them between the races. And after their winning the race, I had unique opportunity to talk to them first and congratulate them. That was the biggest
highlight, I would
privilege.
say.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was not only me in the motorboat, it was also Ian Murray, whose contribution to their success also was very big. And we had a unique opportunity to talk them, to give them a hug, and to congratulate them. And it was a big moment for them to win and to have very big relief after these 5 years of very hard work and in really unique isolations conditions when we were isolated from the world and when we had no opportunities to race because sailing, this is the same sport like tennis, for example, and you have to play the games to play real opponents instead of playing wall for 1.5 years. And we had no opportunity to do this. And a lot of coaches and a lot of sailors after Olympic Games, they come to us and they said, we were sure that after not racing with us, they said we were racing all the way, every day we were racing in Italy, in Portugal, in France, in Spain. Every day we were racing, and we knew you are not racing because you have no fleets in Australia, and you are very limited by this, and we felt advantage over you, and also even in the world ranking list, the Matthew and William, they were number one in the world ranking list since 2013, like 8 years, number one in the world ranking list without changing their position. In June this year, end of June, just before Olympic Games, they were number 16 in the world ranking list. And they are Olympic champions with great advantage without racing medal race. That's a huge big achievement, and this is indication of their top personal qualities and top racing and sailing skills.
And you are clearly very proud of them. Here's a photo of Matt and Will at the end of race 10, which was before the medal race, and when they knew that they had essentially secured the gold medal minus some formalities. So
that fist touch of Matthew was huge, big indication of the job is done.
Exactly.
And you mentioned this after race number 10, but I would mention this one. The job has been done at race number 9, which was even more significant because in the race number 9 we had a choice what we have to do. We have to win race number. They had a big chance to win race number 10 because their speed in that conditions and their understanding of conditions were magnificent. They could win the race, but we said for us the goal, what to do, to win the race or to spend attention to most potential silver medalists, either to Anton from Sweden or to Jordi from Spain. And we said, okay, Jordi now is in second position, and with his unique techniques, he has more chance to win race number 10. We have to spend a little bit of attention to him. That's big indication that they won Olympic Games, not even without sailing medal race, but also without big concerns on the race number 10. They were just playing strategical game with their opponents, not aiming to win, to consolidate their success before the medal race, just playing strategical role. That was incredible achievement. It was like we call this one full domination in our business.
I mean, what a team! But as you mentioned, it's not it is very much about the sailors on the water, but there's also quite a lot going on behind the scenes. Big fella and yourself here on the rib with them after the medal race. How hard was it for you all in Tokyo, especially? I've been trying to explain how difficult it was as a games. We were all in bubbles. We were all very isolated. So even the lead up to the games was difficult. The actual games itself was difficult to a degree, wearing masks, 35-degree heat, not having people around that you might normally have. So, I mean, I'm guessing the athletes probably lent on you more than ever, but I mean, I'd love to hear that from you, Victor.
And of course, like conditions at the games were very difficult, and we were wearing masks all the time, and heat and hot and like different environment, different atmosphere. All of this was very good bonus for us because boys, they were so strong, and the more difficult conditions, the better for them.
Yeah.
More difficult conditions in racing, more difficult conditions on the shore, more difficult conditions in logistics. Not our team, in logistics of the games, better for us because they were so resilient, so strong team, and that's all of this was working for us.
I want to come back to that word resilient. I think this is a very common thread that I'm starting to see with most gold medalists is resilience, being able, especially at this Olympics, to come back from potentially a hard first day and still be resilient enough to come out and, as you said before, get the job done. Is that something that you've seen in your athletes, given that you've now coached 7 gold medalists, and some of them double up, I know, but 7 gold medals? Is that a key factor?
Yeah, but resilience is only one small part of our winning philosophies of Australian sailing team. And you can see that these philosophies were successfully transferred by John Bertrand into sport of swimming. Yes, because he knows exactly what is the key to success in sport of sailing, because he is part of this success. And he brought these philosophies of winning to sport of swimming. And you see how biggest difference in swimming now, how significant their determination to win, and how significant determination to win to all Australian sports through. It's like a positive virus which was spread all around Australian sports. Like if you can analyze, for example, deeply analyze Olympic Games, you can see the key to success of Australian sport to stay in 6 in the medals tally. Yeah.
Yeah, so
and,
good.
Even more. We are country number 1 per capita on the 1 gold medal. 1.3 million people or population for each gold medals produced. Like in China, for example, they have 38 million people to help them
win one
to
gold.
Produce 1 gold medal. Yes, and but the big and significant factor was focus on winning. I would say also John Bertrand transferred our winning to sport of swimming with focus on gold, and Peter Conde transferred this winning spirit from Australian sailing team through all sports in Australia. As leader of Australian sport, at Australian Institute of Sport, he transferred to this winning spirit through all sports in Australia. That's why we have so many gold and so little silver and bronze medal compared to other countries, because we have much more winners in sport of Australia than in other teams. Because you can see how many countries we had behind of us. Top countries like France, Germany, Italy, Netherlands, with a lot of resources, with a lot of money, with a lot of opportunities to develop their athletes in sport. But what was missing? The winning factor. They had much more silver medals than us, and we had, with very small amount of silver medals, we had big percentage of gold in all Australian sports, and 100% of gold in sport of sailing.
Yeah.
And that's make a big difference. Focus on winning. In some of our classes, probably it's play a little bit negative role. For example, we would expect our NACRA to be winners as well, but they were focused on winning in their preparation, in their performance at the beginning of regatta, and that's probably pushed them a little bit back. But focus was on gold, because they were already silver in Rio. But the strategies is not always matching realities, and that is unfortunately for us.
Well, we do have the next edition to go. The thing is, there will always be another Olympics, and I think athletes as well, how they can come back from defeat almost always defines them. And not that I want to say a silver medal is defeat by any means, but after Rio, I remember talking to you and Matt and Will. We were at Hamilton Island, actually, probably where we should be in the next few days, but life is a little bit different. But talking to you then after that silver medal, even though it's a silver, it sort of can feel like a bit of a loss at times, even though it's a silver medal.
Absolutely. Silver medal is the same weight, the same curving on the medal, but little bit different color. But is the same value. This is silver medal, bronze medal. This is indication, the same like gold medal. This is indication of great changes, personal changes. First of all, in people they made to be the winners, just because the Olympic Games, for most of them, this is just a unique opportunity to confirm to the world and to themselves who they are and how strong they are. Just confirmation.
So after Rio and a silver medal, what did you do?
After winning, for example, we were not expecting one more year, and we were focused on the games to 2020. And after winning in 2019 5 top competitions in the world, we were European champions, we were world champions, we won World Cup Grand Finals, we won Olympic test event in Hiroshima, we won the World Cup regatta in Hiroshima. It was big confirmation and big signal to the world that they have to think about their silver and bronze medals, because the gold medal is already has been
decided.
Yes, and but then COVID came, and COVID was, and this is big bonus for all of these young people and I would say growing up people 1 year, to have one more year in their preparation. It was a big bonus for them, and they were quite confident that they use this time, this 1 year, much more efficient than us. But
Maybe
probably they had more opportunities, but efficiency was on our side.
just as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, you spoke about how the focus has to be on winning, and this is a photo that I very much love, and I hope you can actually see it. This is from race number 9, interestingly enough. And here is Matt, and everything else is moving, but his face is fully in focus. Now the most successful male 470 sailor of all time. I mean, how special has it been to work with him across 3 Olympic Games, and then we'll have to talk a little bit about Will as well. But talk to me a bit about Matt and what it is that makes him such an incredible human.
First of all, we have to realize for you, this is photo in race number 9 of Olympic Games, which was very important for us, yes? And you said, oh, how focused is him, how determined is him. And for me, I have seen this face every day in training, in preparation, in logistics, in management, in our debriefs, in his fitness program. Same face, full of focus, full of the focus, full of determination, and full of commitments to do only one job, to win. And that was very important for us because he has a great family. Like not many athletes in Australian sport, they have 3 kids and wife and business and big house and a lot of social missions. Like he is helping a lot to growing up sports in Queensland, not only in sailing, in a lot of sports. He is mentor, he is supporter, he is a role model in Queensland sport, and definitely in sport of sailing. He is significant person. He is coaching once a week. Even when we were training at Gold Coast, he was coaching young kids actively, transferring them his small and big secrets to be the winners. Yeah? And that's what I said. Every day I have seen this face full of focus and full of determination. And that was the key to success. And he came like, he impressed me even first time when I met him in 2000. His parents, during gold medalist parade in Brisbane, they approached me and said, oh, we have good son, very interesting boy, and we want you to spend a little bit of your attention to him. And when they said to me that he was world champion in 420 class, I immediately invite him to sail in November after this parade with Mark Turnbull, who is our Olympic champion, first Olympic champion in Australia, to sail for 4 days. And it was the same face, a little bit more softer in eyes, but the same face, full focus, determination, and really concentration on one goal to show who is he. And when I asked Mark after these 4 days of training, Mark, if you would keep going with Matthew one more year, what place you would take with him next year at the World Championship? He said nothing. He just showed me. And that was huge big issue. Like I was really, and then after this, it was years of interesting work with Matthew and with his brother Daniel to move forward, to move up. We were driving the same car. Next year, like 2001, we were driving the same car in Europe, all around Europe, from competition to competition. Me and Daniel, we were driving, and Matthew was passenger because he was so young to drive around Europe. And yes, and we were talking about life, we were talking about sailing, and sharing ideas and sharing philosophies, and we were growing up and up and up and up. And culmination of their work was winning of Palma Regatta and get the trophies from King and Queen of Spain. Daniel and Matthew, they won this regatta and they beat Malcolm Page and with Nathan Wilmot, and they were really successful. And but then, yes, then unfortunately they lost the trials, and it was big test for both of them, and they went in different boats in life to achieve something special. And Matthew achieved his 2 gold medals and silver, and Daniel achieved his big success in business, but sailing is still big part of his heart. He is president of Australian Sailing now. And yes, because he was always, or we were always racing plank as high as possible. We were not setting easy goals for us, and every new goal was much more difficult and much more significant for us, because a lot of people, they said, oh, this is dream, and but as soon as you put the dates behind the dream, it became goal. And as soon as you put next to the goal some ideas, it became plan. And if you put actions behind your plan, it became reality. This is what is our motto, and we know that our goals, our dreams became our goals, and then became realities. And that is how is life. And Matthew, as I said, he is one from the athletes in Australia who has 3 kids. Yes, very, very supportive wife, and very supportive family. His wife Rika was 8th at Olympic Games in London, with much more higher potential to be more successful in Rio. But she said, no, we have to build a family, we need more kids, and I will take care of kids, and Matthew will produce more medals. And each Olympic cycle bring them 1 more kid, which was on the shoulders of Ricky. And Matthew's job was to bring the medals back. And could you imagine what was? He is always very. He has the highest responsibility, and if he left his big family behind in Queensland, every day he was investing in sailing. Every hour he was investing in sailing was taken from his family, from his kids, who needs a father, who needs his heart, and from his wife, lovely wife, and he knew this one, and he used every hour he invested or he converted from family to sailing, he used very, very efficient. And this focus and determination you have seen in his eyes in race number 1, I have seen every day, every hour.
Day.
And
Yeah.
I know that I knew the reasons of this, and I know the reasons of this.
So very cool. And just after this moment, when they came alongside, speaking of how much he loves his family, Matt got something off you and Big Fella, and it was a texter to write on his hand. And not many people would have noticed this. He wrote on his hand, "I love you," to my kids and his wife. Yeah, and showed it to the camera.
Exactly.
Yeah. First thing he did.
Exactly. And that is how important was his family, how important is his family for him, because love to his wife, love to his, it was big drive in his sport of sailing.
Which is just fantastic. And then speaking about faces, that face of Matt's, that determination, that will and that grit, couldn't be further from the face that was permanently affixed to Will's face after winning gold. And here's a picture of him giving you a big hug. I think this face, that's a new one for most people.
Exactly. It was new even for me, because this hug of William, and most important, his smile is completely different smile. He's always smile all of his life, wherever he is, in tough situations or in battle or in training or in race, he's always smiling, always smiling. This is his, like a business card. His smile is a business card, which was also a legacy of him to his next generations, and this is also he got from his mother, from his grandfather, from his father. All of their families, they are smiling. Ryan's always smiling. Yes, always smiling. And this big hug was the biggest award I ever had in my life, except of gold medal from the World Championship he presented to me. We won 20 World Championships with different sailors, with different teams, Ukrainians, Australians, but only Will Ryan step off the podium and take his medal and put on my neck and said, "Victor, is yours." And this World Champions medal is most important a reward for me as well, and it was big drive for me and big credit for me and big indication of my commitments to him, because 2013, after silver medal at Olympic Games in Rio, we had a special meeting and we decided to do one more with one goal only, to be gold. And that medal was very, very special sign for me, because we were pushing each other a lot, and they were pushing me a lot as well in this campaign, because like it's not easy, you know. Like we had a lot of pushing and a lot of actions which were really, really tough, and sometimes we were even close to like a internal small conflict. But normally we know the rules in sport and in business and in art. The soft teams without any frictions and conflicts, they are not successful. Maybe conflict, this is a wrong word. Maybe my English is not good enough to find a
Your
right
English is
word,
fine.
but definitely we were pushing each other, and definitely they were pushing me a lot to work twice harder and to put more efforts in all of our actions. And this medal, when I was coming back after tough camp, and I said, wow, they pushed me a lot. It was too much for me. But when I have seen this very special medal on my wall and very special postcard, like a birthday postcard from Matthew Belcher. I was reading these words many times in our latest campaign. I said, no, 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 no. We're one team. We're pushing each other to success. We're pushing each other to be the best. We're pushing each other for gold only. And we reach our goal. And that's Will's smile, not only in his mouth, but also in his eyes. You can see his eyes, and it's incredible. It's sparkling. It's full of. They are full of happiness, full of really feelings which are people experience not very often in their lives. Such highest happiness when they get new kids, yes. When they get gold medals, yes. That's what we call happiness.
And so 11 medals later, and an amazing career with 470s. What are your feelings now, given that a class that so many have loved watching, myself included? I love watching the 470. It's a beautiful boat, and it's a beautiful boat to sail. Now it will be a mixed event in 2024. It's sort of like a rounding out potentially to Matt and Will's career as well, because there is no more men's 470 event. They've won the last gold medal in that class.
Yes, and they won last race in 470 men class.
They did.
With huge, big advantage, huge, big. And we're so big. Like, yes, it was very special. But it's not very good for Australian sailing, because for many years after winning Olympic Games in 470 class, the world community was trying to eliminate this class from Olympic Games, and because of domination of Australia. And I would not be surprised even after this Olympic Games, the world sailing community would say, oh, we have to take 470 off because this is old class, but it has been done far in advance. And it's pity for Australia, and probably a little pity for the world, because the tendency is to say, yes, we are giving now the same opportunities for men and women, but it was before, because it was also the same opportunities for 70 men and for 70 women separate. Was also incredible opportunities for girls to develop themselves, and also we have to realize that for 70 this is very special class, for basic class for old world communities to make steps from this unique class to high performance classes, other classes. Like you can see how many world champions and Olympic champions in other classes, like especially in skiffs, like 49er FX, NACRA, how many 470 sailors became world champions and Olympic champions in this class, like Peter Berlin and Stuart Biddle, like now on the podium of
Yeah.
49er class.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they were 470 sailors on the podium of F. A lot of them, they were 470 sailors. Yes, Martina Grael, she was sailing for 5 years. She built her skills, understanding of sailing, and her personality has been built in 470s, and also NACRA, and now we have 470 mixed. It would be very difficult to get people in this class because, and to build camaraderie, because, for example, for young kids, for people who are in the school, to sail with we have a lot of people now who build good teams in 470, or for example 29ers sailing, girls and boys separate, and they are very keen to come to 470s to learn much more about 470s and about sailing, but then they have to sail. Oh, but now I have to stop sailing with my very loyal and very special partner to move to 470s, in special partner in 420s or in 29er, to, and this is difficult, but 470 is alive, and we are happy that this class and this logo will be shining again at Olympic Games in Paris, and
just in a different way.
just in a different way. NACRA is also an interesting class. It's mixed, it's different class, but yeah. 470 will follow NACRA, and we have to make very interesting decision what is winning combination, to have girl as a skipper or girl as a crew in winning combination. This is very interesting for all sailing community. Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you, and as you mentioned, they being Will and Matt, they won the medal race, and I have to talk to you a little bit about this, and I'll play my call from when they actually crossed the line from the village in Enoshima. But on the medal race day, I mean, they didn't need to go out and win. In fact, it looked like they tried really hard not to win. They started on port tack to make sure they stayed out of trouble. They ducked most of the fleet on port, and then stayed out of the way of both Jordi Jammer from Spain and also the Swedish team. They didn't want to get involved, and yet they still were sailing so well, and they were dominating so much. It was actually a beautiful display of just how much they dominated that regatta, that medal race, effectively. Tell me about the tactics for that race, because I think only a DNE was what would come in between you and a medal.
Yes, exactly. Only penalty could, with extra points, could affect their winning of Olympic Games. And they were trying to stay out of troubles. It doesn't mean they were not determined to win the race. They were really focused, because they were trying to make the job of world sailing on television much more easier.
Yeah.
To explain why the winners at the back and why they won Olympic Games. Yeah. And
absolutely.
they were very, very determined to win this race on the television, and to show their domination, and to show to Matthew's family, to Will Ryan's family, to show to all our friends, mentors, and the role models who were supporting us by years, how good they are.
Yeah.
And they start on port, they were not affecting any boat
No one
in
at
the
all.
fleet to solve the problem who will be second and third, because New Zealanders, they had also big chance to be bronze in this race. And Matthew and Will, they were sailing their own race. They are sailing just wind. They were sailing waves. They were enjoying an enormous race, and they were trying to show to the world their full speed and their unique abilities. And they did this one very easily, because it was the race of the games. It was the most interesting and most important race of the games, to show to the world through television who they are.
Oh,
And
so
to race
true.
Australian flag, not from 5th position in the race, from first one. And they did this one very, very well. I take my hat off and say, thank you very much, Williams. Thank you very much, Matthew, for doing this one. It's great.
It was the best. So here's a little bit of a snapshot to the commentary booth. Here we go.
On the final approach to the finish, it is actually incredibly interesting that at the moment we have gold and silver medal positions that will follow one another over the line in this medal race, to add to the victory lap field that these Australians have had today. Just magnificent to see as they come into the line. Massive smiles on both the face of Matthew Belcher and Will Ryan. They back up their silver medal from Rio 2016 with a gold here in Tokyo as part of the sailing competition for Tokyo 2020. The second gold medal that we've seen for Australia at this event. And in fact, I have to say, beautiful work and heritage for the Australians in the 470 fleet as well. Second across the line, securing provisionally the silver medal.
Anyway, it continues, but I called it the victory lap. It was very much a victory lap. They were just laying down the law, so to speak, on just who had ownership of that medal. As you said earlier in the quad, there was no question in anybody's mind, and then later on in the quad, there became a little bit of doubt. But during that medal race, there was no doubt whatsoever who was deserved in taking home that gold medal. So congratulations to you, Victor, in coaching this pair, and all of those that have come before them as well.
Yes, I was watching this video many times now, because from my position at the start line, from my, I would say, isolation position at the start line, I could not to see their brilliant techniques in this race. I have seen this one in their training. They were doing the same in training, but with their level of inspiration from the games, they were doing this one even better at the games, even better in this medal race. Like, it was a level of perfection, absolutely level of perfection in sport of sailing. When I was watching this one many times, and I could not see even a smallest mistake, and even opposite, I have seen the new details. It's fantastic sailing, a really brilliant level of sailing.
And that, at the end of the day, is why we saw them here on the top of the podium. Matt and Will together, the final men 470 podium at the Olympic Games. An amazing, amazing achievement, and congratulations from, I think, everyone here in Australia. Thank you so much for sharing not only your wisdom today, Victor, but your passion for your athletes, for sailing in general, and for winning gold. For winning! We thank you for all that you have given to us and to our sailors, and no doubt will continue to give to sailing in the future. So thank you so much, Victor, for spending time with us today in your busy quarantine schedule.
Thank you very much, Nikki. I'm just small part of our big winning team. Big winning team of Australia.
So true. And as we fade out here, I'll show you that big winning team of the Australian sailing team from the Tokyo 2020 sailing competition. Big claps to them all. I'll be talking to more in the coming days. You can catch my chat with Michael Blackburn that I did in the past few days online already. I'll be talking to Matt Belcher and also to Matt Wern. Really looking forward to that. But thanks again for your time today, Victor.